J.J. McCarthy stated that he still does not know if he will be the principal quarterback. Is the Vikings hesitating to bet everything on the young talent? Does the Vikings fully trust their young quarterback, or is the franchise preparing an alternative plan? Rumors suggest that a veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers or Ryan Tannehill may be on the team's radar. Will McCarthy have to compete for his position even before taking over the team? In this video, we will analyze his performance and the challenges he has been facing in the current scenario. So, stay tuned to this video. McCarthy, the young quarterback selected with the 10th overall pick in the 2024 draft, was seen as the immediate future of the franchise after Sam Darnold's departure to the Seattle Seahawks and Daniel Jones's move to the Indianapolis Colts. However, an interview given by McCarthy on March 25th of this year threw a cold bucket of water on the expectations of fans and NFL insiders. He revealed that he has not yet been officially informed about his position as the main or starting quarterback. This statement raises intriguing questions about the internal decision-making process of the Vikings and the factors that may be influencing the franchise's hesitation. In the face of this scenario of uncertainty, it becomes even more relevant to analyze McCarthy's journey since joining the team. McCarthy arrived at the Vikings with high expectations, but his journey was abruptly interrupted before it even began. In August 2024, he suffered a meniscus injury during his only preseason game, where he showed flashes of talent in the matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Vikings won 24-23 in that game against the Raiders. McCarthy completed 11 of 17 passes, accumulating 188 passing yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Additionally, he rushed twice for 18 yards. This performance generated optimism about his potential, but his trajectory was cut short by the knee injury that sidelined him for the rest of the season. Now, the focus is on his full recovery and his development within Kevin O'Connell's offensive system. The general manager of the Minnesota Vikings, Mensa, during an interview at this year's NFL Combine, described McCarthy's progress in a metaphorical way. He is conversational in our language, in our offensive language, understanding the why, the intention behind things. This comparison suggests that McCarthy is gradually absorbing the offensive system, but has not yet reached the level of fluency needed to consistently lead on the field. Perhaps for Mensa, the goal is to allow McCarthy to play free and let his natural talent shine, something that can only be achieved with more time and experience. We need to understand that McCarthy's injury was more than just a physical setback. It represented a significant obstacle in his transition to the NFL. During his recent interview on the Up and Adams show, McCarthy stated that he is 100% recovered, but admitted that he remains committed to the rehabilitation process. This suggests that, despite his public confidence, there may be hidden nuances in his physical condition that are being closely monitored by the coaching staff. Although McCarthy claims to be 100% recovered from his knee injury, the lack of experience in official NFL games raises questions about his ability to lead the offense, and unfortunately, this is a fact. While professional habits and discipline are important, American football demands consistent performance on the field. The Vikings face the challenge of evaluating whether McCarthy can translate his physical recovery into practical results, especially after the 14-3 season with Sam Darnold, which raised expectations for 2025 when the team aims to build a strong roster to compete in the race to the Super Bowl. Moreover, the absence of experienced veterans in the current roster amplifies the pressure on McCarthy. Brett Rypien, the only other quarterback on the roster, does not have the necessary pedigree to step into the starting role immediately. This gap creates a risky scenario for the Vikings, especially considering that McCarthy has not yet had the opportunity to prove his worth in official games. The Vikings may be exploring options like Ryan Tannehill or even keeping Aaron Rodgers as a remote possibility. Although the Minnesota Vikings initially gave up on the idea of signing Aaron Rodgers, the door remains slightly ajar. The presence of Rodgers as a viable option keeps McCarthy under constant pressure, especially considering that the veteran is still evaluating other teams, such as the Pittsburgh Steelers. Until McCarthy demonstrates full readiness, the franchise will not rule out alternatives to signing another quarterback who could maximize their chances of short-term success. While McCarthy works to secure his place as the starting quarterback for the Vikings, the media and fans are growing increasingly eager for his highly anticipated debut as the team's leader. After a 2024 season marked by an impressive 14-3 record, followed by a frustrating playoff elimination, expectations for 2025 are sky high. Many see McCarthy as the key piece to take the Vikings to the next level, but this external pressure may be influencing the franchise's approach. Kevin O'Connell, during the 2025 NFL Combine, emphasized that the quarterback selection process will be considered in both the short and long term. This process will unfold both in the short and long term for the Minnesota Vikings, he stated. At the time, this statement was linked to the situations of Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy, indicating that decisions about the position would not be rushed. Although Darnold has already left the team, O'Connell's cautious approach reflects a strategic pattern in his management, carefully evaluating options before making important decisions. This same mindset may now be applied to the current scenario with McCarthy. Even though the initial statement occurred in a context involving Darnold, the principles behind this approach, balancing immediate needs with a long-term vision, remain relevant. O'Connell is likely using this strategy to decide whether McCarthy is ready to lead the offense or if other options should be considered. This posture partly explains the delay in officially naming McCarthy as the starting quarterback, reinforcing the idea that the coach prioritizes well-founded decisions regardless of external pressure. The dilemma of the Minnesota Vikings revolves around a clear tension. Investing in the future with McCarthy or seeking immediate success with a veteran like Aaron Rodgers or Ryan Tannehill. This dichotomy shapes all of the franchise's decisions as it seeks to balance present competitiveness with building a solid foundation for the coming years. Recent acquisitions such as Ryan Kelly, Jonathan Allen, Will Fries, Javon Hargrave, and Cam Robinson demonstrate that the Minnesota Vikings are constructing a robust roster with the clear goal of competing immediately. These moves further reinforce the franchise's commitment to maximizing its current performance, capitalizing on the momentum of a 2024 season marked by an impressive 14-3 record. However, this ambition also brings with it a growing pressure, especially on the shoulders of J.J. McCarthy. With the media, fans, and team management expecting to maintain or even surpass the level of competitiveness achieved in the previous year, the young quarterback becomes the main focus of attention. The responsibility and pressure of justifying his selection as the 10th pick in the draft and leading a roster filled with established talents like Justin Jefferson increase exponentially, making every decision about his position even more crucial for the future of the Vikings. McCarthy's statement during his interview on the Up and Adams show raises intriguing questions about his mindset and the Vikings' communication strategy. When asked about his starting QB position, McCarthy said he had not yet been officially informed, but expressed satisfaction with that. "They haven't told me, and I'm glad they haven't, because I try to earn it every day," he said. This response can be interpreted in several ways. On one hand, it reflects humility and a hard-working mentality, traits that any team values in a player. On the other hand, it may be a strategic message to manage public expectations while the team evaluates its options. McCarthy's mindset of embracing the pressure and earning the starting role every day suggests that he is comfortable with the challenge. Despite McCarthy's statements and the Vikings' apparent confidence in his development, rumors continue to swirl about possible moves in the quarterback market. Speculation around Aaron Rodgers, for example, persists, although it seems unlikely that he will sign with the Vikings in the short term. The team is also considering veterans like Ryan Tannehill, who could serve as mentors for McCarthy while providing immediate stability. This dual approach, investing in young talent while adding experience to the roster, is a common strategy in the NFL, especially for teams seeking to balance the present and the future. Another factor to consider is the 2025 draft. Although McCarthy is seen as the future of the Vikings, the franchise may explore other options in the draft if an exceptional prospect arises. This would serve as an insurance policy against any setbacks in McCarthy's development. The Minnesota Vikings' hesitation to name J.J. McCarthy as the principal quarterback reflects a combination of factors, from his physical recovery and mental development to external pressures and internal strategies within the franchise. While McCarthy shows significant progress, the injury he suffered in 2024 and his lack of experience in official games create uncertainties that the team cannot ignore. Spring and summer training sessions will be crucial in determining McCarthy's future as the starting quarterback. The Vikings are closely observing how he adapts to the offensive system and responds to pressure in simulated situations. If McCarthy fails to impress during these sessions, the franchise may reconsider its options, including signing a veteran. This reinforces that McCarthy's statement, "They haven't told me yet," should be seen as part of a broader strategy to motivate him to show his best. The Vikings coaching staff is clearly adopting a cautious approach, prioritizing both the short and long term. McCarthy's statement about his position as the starting quarterback can be seen as a reflection of this strategy, combining humility with a mindset of continuous growth. Meanwhile, the franchise continues to explore all available options, ensuring that it is prepared for any scenario that may arise. Regardless of the final decision, one thing is certain. The Minnesota Vikings are committed to building a competitive team with McCarthy as a central piece of that vision. Recent additions to the roster, including names like Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, and Cam Robinson, demonstrate that the Minnesota Vikings are constructing a robust team for 2025. However, these moves also increase the pressure on McCarthy to justify his selection as the 10th pick in the draft. The team's success depends directly on making the right decisions at the quarterback position. And until McCarthy proves he is ready to lead, the franchise will continue evaluating alternatives. The hesitation in naming him the starting quarterback reflects not only doubts about his performance, but also a careful management strategy. The coaching staff understands that the future of the franchise may depend on this choice, and making a mistake now could compromise the next few years. Moreover, the presence of veterans in the market, such as Aaron Rodgers and Ryan Tannehill, creates a temptation hard to ignore. Signing an experienced name could bring immediate stability, but it would also place even more pressure on McCarthy to justify his status as a first-round draft pick. This duality between present and future is the great challenge faced by the Vikings at this moment. While McCarthy works to establish himself as the leader of the offense, the franchise needs to balance its bets, ensuring that the team remains competitive in the short term without sacrificing its long-term potential. Do you believe McCarthy is ready to take command of the Vikings, or would you rather see the franchise sign an experienced veteran? Leave your opinion in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to stay up to date with all the latest news about the Minnesota Vikings.